Well, at CAPED, it's more than banking. It's making a difference. You know, the Idaho Youth Ranch is a nonprofit agency that offers emergency shelter, residential care, youth and family therapy, job readiness, training, and adoptive services. So since 1953, Idaho Youth Ranch has been a beacon of hope for struggling kids and families. And today, we're joined by Idaho Youth Ranch's Chief Executive Officer, that is, Scott Curtis. Scott, it's so great to have you.
Thank you for having me back.
It's been way too long, my friend.
I agree.
Yes,
Thank you so
yeah.
much.
And I remember when the Center for Resilience and the Residential Center for Healing and Resilience was...
It's a mouthful.
Yes, it is. It is a mouthful, but you know, was an idea, right? It was a concept that was being built, and now it's in place, and it's offering these incredible services and making such an important impact. It's doing what, you know, the aspiration was to do. But for those who may not be familiar with the Residential Center for Healing and Resilience, remind everybody about it. What is it and who's it for? Who does it serve?
Thank you. So the Residential Center really was a dream come true for many years, and thank you for all of your support. Thanks to CAPED and Lisa for giving us this chance to talk about it. It was really built to keep Idaho kids in Idaho that needed serious residential treatment for psychiatric disorders that they and their family were struggling with managing. So it's here, it's in Canyon County. It's a 64-bed facility that is taking some young people and their families that are struggling with some of the most difficult things that any of us could imagine, and really helping them get their arms around it, focusing on the strengths of both the youth and the family unit, and then, you know, over the course of an average of about 6 months of treatment, helping these folks come back together so they can go back into their families and in their home communities and really be successful. Yeah,
be successful. And I remember other previous conversations you and I have had over the years, these families without this center were being sent to other states for services, and that in itself created this additional stress, and that potential for the positive outcome was lessened because they weren't able to be in their community, around their families.
Yeah, for sure.
So this is a wonderful opportunity, like you said, for them to remain here and have an exponentially better opportunity to improve faster and then be positive contributors to our community. With that, though, what kinds of transformations are you seeing with those who've been able to receive service in the walls of this space?
Well, that's really the most exciting thing, is just being able to see firsthand the youth actually doing what we said we would do, right? Being able to come here, find healing, find resilience. Most of these youth have experienced some sort of trauma. They have a psychiatric diagnosis, and we've seen so many young people come, and the person that arrives is the same person that leaves because they had this strength inside of them, but their ability to manage their trauma and their ability to manage their psychiatric disorder is different. So for example, I remember a young woman arriving, and she could hardly come out of her room, hadn't been in school for many, many months, just not functioning well socially. And by the time she left, she was succeeding, doing well in school. She graduated with her class from a very large high school here in the Valley. That's something that she and her parents couldn't imagine when she was starting the program.
So you're helping young people thrive.
Absolutely, yeah.
Thrive, okay. And for parents watching, perhaps this is something that they're like, oh my goodness, this is what my child needs, and they're worried about their kid. What should they do?
Well, I always tell people just go to our website, youthranch.org, because that's what they'll remember, and click on Get Help. They can also call the line on there and start talking about it. You know, there are requirements for being a part of this program. It has to be a youth that has a psychiatric diagnosis, and they can't be functioning well at home. In other words, it really needs to be medically necessary that they come, but there are a lot of parents out there that are wondering what to do, not sure what resources is there, and we'd love to talk with them.
Oh, that's wonderful. And this is also a very exciting time, though, too, for the center, because I understand that at the ranch, you know, you're currently hiring. So what kind of roles are opened, and also what makes working at the center different?
Oh, that's a great question. So I'll answer the last part first, because I think that's probably the most motivating for a lot of folks. To be able to work with the same young people day in and day out and see the transformation over a relatively short period, you know, 4 to 6 months, that's very motivating for our staff. And even for therapists who, you know, outpatient therapists tend to see somebody once a week over a longer period of time, but for them to be able to see the same youth day in and day out and work with the families, that's wonderful. We have a lot of roles that are available. the most basic frontline role is our youth care provider. Those are the folks that are with the youth every day. We take all ages of staff. You have to be 21, but we provide all of the training. So we have youth care providers. We still need nurses. We have 24-hour nursing care there. Therapists are always welcome to apply. Our website has all the positions. And,
I can only imagine how rewarding that must be, though, to be able to be in a position as a therapist and a care provider and see them on a daily basis and see that growth happen firsthand. And like you'd mentioned, not just in this, occasional conversation, but to be with them every step of the way has just really got to be, like I said, rewarding.
Yeah, one of the privileges of stepping in when they're at their lowest low, which can be very hard and taxing on our staff, is then we also get to see the transformation and you get the joy that comes from the highest high.
Absolutely. And as mentioned, you're hiring because it's a time of growth. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we're at about half of our beds filled out there, so we're growing both with youth and staff, but also there were some pieces in the original project that we always knew we wanted that we've now been able to get our arms around and are launching. We've raised $4.6 million in a $5.6 million campaign, so we're just about there, and we're adding a number of really critical pieces. So the first is family visitation lodging. We've had youth already from 22 of Idaho's 44 counties.
Wow.
And so that means we have families coming from all over the state to be part of visitation with their youth. And we are actually building lodging on the campus so that these parents and guardians can be right there, stay overnight, have their youth stay with them, get the support of the staff. So that's incredible. We also use equine therapy in this program.
Yes.
And we were already using it outpatient. So we need to actually double our herd and our facilities out there to provide more equine therapy. And then part of the history of the ranch was always taking care of animals, smaller animals, chickens, goats, sheep. We're also adding that back to the Youth Ranch program. So it's a really exciting time.
Wonderful. Oh my goodness. I'm getting goosebumps because I'm so excited to see all of this come to fruition and know that these services are going to be provided for those who need it most, and then they can thrive. As we said, they can thrive. So where can our viewers go to get involved, donate, maybe apply for a job?
Yeah, thank you for asking. Again, youthranch.org is the best spot, and we are happy to meet people wherever they're at. If they have time and want to volunteer, we'll take them. If they want to be staff, we'll take them. If they want to provide support financially, we'll take that. So thank you. And for the everyday person, keep coming into our thrift stores and supporting the Youth Ranch that way.
I was going to ask about that. So yes, because the funds from those stores goes to support your services.
All of our programs are supported directly by our thrift stores.
Yeah. So if you saw a sweater and you really want it, go buy it. Don't think about it because you're actually impacting a very important cause. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. All right, everyone, stick around. More to come.